Hey guys, Robbie here from CFSB Nutrition at CrossFit South Bend. Today I want to talk to you about doing a cost-benefit analysis on different ways of eating. So the too long didn't watch version of this video is basically no matter what way of eating you pick, there are always benefits and always drawbacks. And this is true of anything in life. You know, if you want to go to college, there are benefits and drawbacks. Don't want to go to college, benefits and drawbacks. Have a kid, don't have a kid, get married, buy a house. All these things have benefits and drawbacks. And that doesn't mean that no way of doing things is better than any other. It just depends on what your goals are. But it would be dishonest to say about any way of eating that it has no drawbacks. Every way of eating has drawbacks. Every way of eating has benefits. And what I want to do is guide you through some of the benefits and drawbacks of each of these different ways of eating, and then talk about how you might figure out what is best for you. So let's first talk about focusing on health. So, you know, we are big fans of the Paleo way of eating, Whole30, all kind of in the same mold, focusing on overall nutrient density of your food, making sure that you've got enough vitamins, that your blood sugar is nice and balanced, that you're getting proper recovery from workouts. This tends to maximize health overall, so that's a huge benefit. It tends to help a lot, generally speaking, with overall body composition too. People tend to lose weight, they tend to gain muscle. It's not necessarily the absolute best at altering body composition. We'll talk about that in just a second, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But at the same time, you're always gonna have to trade off on convenience and cost. Anytime you have to cook your food, you know, to get that more real whole food way of doing things, it's going to be a trade-off for convenience. You're gonna have to spend some time prepping. It's gonna be a trade-off in cost. Now, I'll do a separate video about this because people tend to over-exaggerate the cost difference, and I would actually argue that compared to fast food or Starbucks, you're actually saving a lot of money. But yeah, you're gonna have some cost trade-off by eating more real whole food. So that definitely is an element to factor into things. What about macros and calories? Well, this can be fantastic for performance and body composition. And in fact, we just released new programs specifically geared towards this side of things. If you're solely concerned with performance and body composition, these programs would be fantastic for you. But again, we're gonna have trade-offs. Convenience. In order to weigh and measure your food, you're going to have to weigh and measure your food, right? Put it on a scale, put it in MyFitnessPal. That's gonna be a trade-off for convenience. You know, there are ways to get around this, but it's also gonna be a trade-off for taste. Yes, there are spices you can use, and yes, there are other things, but there's a reason why the stereotypical bodybuilder meal is chicken, brown rice, and steamed vegetables. It's because those are each of those individual macros, kind of the carbs, the non-starchy veggie, and the protein. So yes, you can get good tasting food, but doing macros and calories, but generally speaking, you're trading that off. So that's important to keep in mind. What about focusing on the best cuisine, whether it's, you know, Chinese food or Thai food or French cooking? Well, you get a lot of benefits here, right? You get the taste benefit, you get the social aspect, going to some of the best restaurants in the world, hanging out with your friends and family. That's awesome, right? But you also get a trade-off in terms of cost and convenience. You know, this is gonna cost more to eat if you're going for the absolute best tasting food. If you're making some of it at home, it's certainly gonna be less convenient because you have to make it. And then, you know, while this could be somewhat conducive to health, really speaking, if we're just talking about food taste as the primary goal, that is going to be a trade-off in terms of health because you're more focused on taste than you are on health. Now, let's talk about the two that are kind of the idols that we pray to today in American culture when it comes to food: convenience and cost, right? We think that all food should be maximally convenient and maximally cheap. So if you focus just solely on food convenience, yeah, benefits here. It's easy, it's quick, you pay someone else to make it for you, that can get a little bit more costly. You know, if you are picking it up via fast food, and we're talking about that type of convenience, that's certainly going to impact your health negatively. So when it comes to convenience, typically you're gonna be trading off somewhat on health. And if you're not trading off on health, you're certainly gonna be trading off on cost because you're paying someone else to make these healthy meals for you. But it is easy and quick, so those are benefits. And then lastly, what about cost? So yeah, if you focus solely on cost, you can save a whole lot of money, you know, eating a certain way, which is certainly important. Now I put health and convenience here in blue because the truth of the matter is that you don't necessarily need to trade off on health per se if you are lowering the cost of your food, you can still eat plenty of real whole food, even at a low cost. But to a certain extent, if you're really trying to maximize your cost savings, you are going to be sacrificing health a bit, typically. And then convenience. So typically, if you are trying to lower your cost of your food, you are going to be making the food at home, which again is going to require some sort of trade-off in convenience. And then typically taste. Again, this could go both ways. It depends on how good a cook you are. But if you're looking for the maximally cheap microwave meal, then yeah, you're going to be sacrificing taste. So, there are all these different variables here. There's the cost, the taste, the social component, the family component, convenience, health, performance, body comp. So what should you do? Well, the practical upshot here is that you have to get clear about what it is you want. The way I currently eat is a mixture of all these things. Yes, it's primarily geared towards health, and because of that, I'm trading off on cost. I'm trading that off. I'm also trading off on convenience. I want to have a little bit more in the way of performance for the way I'm training. So that's a trade-off as well. So, my personal trade-offs aren't going to be your personal trade-offs, but you have to get clear about which one or set of these things is the most important to you. From there, if you say body comp and performance, okay, well, let's do some macros and calories. If you say health, number one overall, I don't care about body composition and performance, then yeah, Paleo Whole30, real whole food quality. If you say, look, I just care about eating the best tasting food and I don't really care about my health, well then this. So it really depends on what it is you want to do. Secondly, once you figure out what you want to do and the way to go about doing it, which we can help you figure out, commit to it for at least 3 months. At least 3 months. A day, a week, a couple weeks, it's not going to cut it. Because what you want to do after the 3 months is assess what worked and what didn't. And the only way to really do that is to do it for a prolonged period of time to figure out what's going on. And this is what we do with training cycles too. Training cycles are typically about 3 months. You've got little mini blocks within there, but typically they're about 3 months. So commit to it for at least 3 months, give it a try, see what worked, see what didn't, and then assess from there and figure out what's going to be right for you for the next 3 months. All right, guys, thanks so much for